Hello, my name is Gary, and I was raised in the Western United States, so I'm a native English speaker. I hope that you will enjoy this YouTube channel. Thank you for joining us.
IELTS writing samples.
The first chart below shows the percentages of women and men in a country involved in some kinds of home tasks: cooking, cleaning, pet caring, and repairing the house. The second chart shows the amount of time each gender spent on each task per day. The charts provide information about the percentage of males and females in a particular country who perform various household tasks, as well as the average time they spent on these tasks. Overall, both charts indicate that women were primarily responsible for cooking and cleaning. Furthermore, the pet care statistics for men and women were nearly the same. The first graph reveals that a majority of women and men were involved in cooking for their families, with percentages of 86% and 60% respectively. Moreover, women were approximately 20% more likely than men to engage in cleaning chores, with rates of close to 60% and 40% correspondingly. Additionally, over 20% of men took care of pets, while exactly 20% of women did the same. Finally, while 19% of men performed home repairs, only 8% of women did so. According to the data from the second graph, women dedicated over 80 minutes daily to cooking and nearly 70 minutes to cleaning. Men, on the other hand, spent slightly less time on these activities, with around 60 minutes for cooking and approximately 45 minutes for cleaning. Despite both genders devoting equal time to pet care, men invested notably more time in house repairs, averaging just under 20 minutes per day, which is 15 minutes more than women.
The charts illustrate the percentage of males and females in a Pacific country who engage in various household tasks, along with the average time they spend on these activities. Overall, the charts indicate that women were primarily involved in cooking and cleaning tasks, while pet care responsibilities showed little variation between men and women. First graph indicates the majority of men and women were involved in cooking for their families, with percentages of 86 and 60% accordingly. Furthermore, women were approximately 20% more likely than men to engage in cleaning chores, with rates around 60% and 40% respectively. While over 20% of men took care of pets, the proportion of women was exactly 20%. Finally, although 19% of males performed household repairs, only 8% of females did so. Based on the data from the second graph, women devoted over 80 minutes each day to cooking and nearly 70 minutes to cleaning. In contrast, men spent slightly less time on these tasks, with approximately 60 minutes for cooking and around 45 minutes for cleaning. Although both genders allocated equal time to pet care, men dedicated significantly more time to house repairs, averaging just under 20 minutes per day, which is 15 minutes longer than women.
The charts show the sources of electricity produced in 4 countries between 2003 and 2008. The given pie charts depict the distribution of electricity from 3 different sources across 4 countries: India, Sweden, Morocco, and Vietnam, during the years 2003 to 2008. In summary, neither Vietnam nor Morocco utilized nuclear power for electricity generation. Additionally, fossil fuels dominated as the primary source of electricity in Vietnam and India, while they represented a smaller proportion in Morocco and Sweden during the years studied. Morocco led in hydropower with 95% share, followed by Sweden at 52% and Vietnam at around 45%. India, on the other hand, allocated 14% of its electricity production to hydropower. In terms of fossil fuels, India led with around 80%, followed by Vietnam with more than half. In contrast, both Morocco and Sweden shared a similar proportion, each accounting for less than 5%. Nuclear power accounted for approximately 50% of electricity generation in both Sweden and India, but it was not utilized for electricity production in the other mentioned countries.
The provided pie charts illustrate the proportions of electricity generated from 3 different sources in 4 countries: India, Sweden, Morocco, and Vietnam, between 2003 and 2008. Overall, Vietnam and Morocco did not rely on nuclear power for electricity generation. Notably, fossil fuel served as the primary source of electricity in Vietnam and India, whereas they accounted for a comparatively smaller proportion in Morocco and Sweden during the years under examination. In the realm of hydropower, Morocco led with 95% share, trailed by Sweden at 52% and Vietnam at approximately 45%. Meanwhile, India allocated 14% of its electricity production to hydropower. Concerning fossil fuels, India took the lead with approximately 80%, followed by Vietnam with over half. In contrast, Morocco and Sweden had similar proportions, each accounting for less than 5%. Nuclear power contributed to roughly 50% of electricity generation in both Sweden and India, while it was not used for electricity production in the other mentioned countries.